Am I the asshole for yelling at the girl who caused my son's eating disorder? My wife and I have a son named Keegan who's 16. He's our only child and he means the world to us. A few months ago, we noticed that Keegan had started skipping meals, saying that he had a lot to eat at lunch and just didn't have room for dinner. We didn't think much of it as Keegan's always had a small appetite since he was a young child. He'd lost a bit of weight and he said he worked really hard in soccer, but we soon came to regret believing what we found out were lies. At a school conference, we talked about many things with his few teachers, and me and my wife thanked his teachers for providing lunch for their students. He goes to an alternative school where the environment is a lot smaller than an actual school. It turns out Keegan never ate the school lunches there. He was only eating an orange a day for 3 months. He's also very forgetful and would even forget to grab something to eat at least half of the week. My wife and I felt devastated that we hadn't noticed sooner. We had a talk together about how to approach this, and then we had a talk with Keegan. We made sure to let him know that we were here for him, that we love him dearly, and we want to help him however we can. He broke down and told us that there was this girl named Riley who was bullying him for being fat and told him that he should stop eating. So he followed through. He was 5'5" and 150 pounds prior to his eating disorder. My wife and I felt angry and took Keegan to a nutritionist where he was diagnosed with anorexia. He had lost 35 pounds over the course of his eating disorder. We made sure that he would get enough to eat, slowly but surely as recommended by his doctor. We told him that he isn't fat at all, but he feels incredibly insecure about his body now, especially his stomach and legs. My wife and I feel so hurt seeing him go through this. He already suffers from severe depression and anxiety and can hardly go to school every day. So this is just yet another topping to the pizza for him. The next day, I went into the school with Keegan and I talked to his teachers about the situation. All of them felt horrible about what happened and brought in the girl in question. Once the door was closed, I lost my temper and started yelling at her about how hurt my son was over this. I really didn't intend to, but the damage had already been done. What made me angrier is that she said, "I don't see the problem. Boys can't be affected by weight comments." Before I could yell at her again, I was told to leave and that they would handle the situation. My wife and our parents are furious with me about yelling at a young girl who probably doesn't know any better. I know I was wrong, but holy crap, she's the same age as Keegan. High schoolers know bullying is wrong. She doesn't even know that she caused his anorexia. So,
am I the asshole for planting women's underwear in our bathroom, so now my ex and his side piece are being bullied at work? My boyfriend of 4 years has been cheating on me. I know this for a fact, and I know that he was messing with the girl in our bed regularly, and she's from his workplace. For context, I'm curvy and she's slim. This is only important because of the size difference. Think of a size 16 and a size 8. My ex-BF is extremely sensitive to smells and quite unforgiving. One time I tooted in front of him, he gagged and did not want to physically touch me for a month. My farts are really not even that bad, I promise, or at least that one wasn't. I didn't have evidence really. I only knew for a fact as I had seen something with my eyes but didn't want to take pictures or anything, and I really didn't want to be gaslighted again. So I bought some size 8 women's underwear, asked my brother to work out with them bandaged to his armpit, rubbed a bit of soup where skid marks should be, and then to make them really stink, I smothered them with tuna. They smelt strongly of BO and fish. The skid marks were more modest, to be honest. I didn't want to be so unrealistic. I faked a night out, and I knew that he had her over that night. So the next day, I started asking about a weird smell in the bathroom, making jokes, asking if he had waffle stomped in the shower, etc. I guess the panties in the bin started to get really funky because it got so bad he refused to even go in there and started bathing at his mother's house. He even called someone over to look at the plumbing, but of course they didn't find anything to explain it. This was so golden to me because now he was just wasting money too. After 5 days, I told him that I found the problem and that I wasn't happy. I asked who the size 8 with the rotten fanny was. His face was glorious. He immediately started defending himself. It was beautiful. I didn't plan this part, but I started to realize the situation and what a scum he was, so I threw the panties at him, shouting that I found these in the bathroom bin and that he needs to pick someone who doesn't have the worst case of BV I've ever seen, and asking if he knew that he could have spread whatever infection this was to me. The smell was horrendous. He threw up. I don't know for sure, but I imagine his eggplant shrank all the way up. I haven't seen him for 3 weeks now, but I know from a friend who works at the same place as them that he's told everyone about what she left in the bin and how disgusting it was. She obviously denied it, but it didn't do much good. Now the girl is getting bullied at work and people are making nasty comments about her, and my friend is pretty sure that she's going to be leaving soon due to being bullied there. He's also getting bullied, and people keep making jokes about how his eggplant must reek of fish and about how he messes with various ocean creatures. I haven't told anyone about this, not even my friend, and I don't plan to. I know I should be mad at him and not her, but she did know we were together, so I can't actually bring myself to care. I just needed to tell someone, even if everyone thinks I'm the ass. So, am I the asshole for planting women's underwear in our bathroom, and now my ex and his side piece are being bullied at work? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Am I the asshole for asking my 27 male, unemployed girlfriend, 24 female, to get a job? Half a year ago, my girlfriend got me a great job and a new career path we both decided to take. It normally takes newbies 2+ years to get this kind of job she got me. The job was offered to her first, and it's a family connection, but she gave it to me because she saw how stressed out I was about not being able to get a job. Instead, she accepted an unpaid internship that would have turned into a full-time position, but her boss treated her so poorly that it took a toll on her mental health. She ended up leaving after 2 months. I told her she could relax for a while before starting her studies again, if she ever wanted to, and I told her that she didn't even need a job because I could support both of us. She's given herself the duties of cooking us elaborate meals, cleaning, and doing all of the chores. She's gotten me presents to help make my job easier and makes me coffee throughout the day. I work from home. I am very grateful for everything she does. My job has been stressful since day one. I work 12 to 13-hour days and I work on weekends. I haven't been able to spend much time with my girlfriend. She claims to understand, but she's constantly upset that we don't hang out anymore. She told me that she knows it isn't my fault and isn't demanding more, but she's sad about it. We got into a huge fight the other day because she asked if that little time we spent together could be more meaningful. I felt like she was demanding more out of me. I have so little personal time as is, and I think she wanted me to allocate more of that to her. I admittedly say mean things when I'm angry, so I called her a selfish person and said that she only pretends to care about me, but that everything she does is self-serving. Then I told her I felt trapped and smothered. I realized recently that my girlfriend being unemployed puts a lot of pressure on me. Even if I can't reduce my hours and I make enough for both of us, I want her to be able to support herself if something happened. I told her that this pressure makes me feel trapped. Then I said that having to worry about whether or not she's happy stresses me out more than I already am. I told her that I'm the unhappiest I've ever been in my life and that a large part of this is our relationship, but if she got a job, a lot of these feelings would go away. She said that she would find a job so I could stop feeling this way, and the issue seemed resolved. But there have been a few times since then where I've walked into a room she's in and she's been visibly crying. When I ask her what's wrong, she says she doesn't want to talk about it because she doesn't want to stress me out more. I have a feeling it's about the fight we had the other day, but she won't talk to me about it. I don't think I said anything wrong by asking her to get a job. I was being honest about how I felt, but it clearly hurt her. So, am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole for suggesting my pregnant sister should put her baby up for adoption? My 31 female sister, 27 female, was married to A for 3 years. Prior to their elopement, they were on and off for about 4 years. Because of their unstable relationship, my sister never introduced him to our family until they were married. Our family is very tight-knit and traditional, so with this late introduction, me and my family never formed a close bond with brother-in-law, and our relationship was strained because of it. About a month ago, my sister called me and told me that brother-in-law was in the ICU at the hospital, being treated after he was hit by a drunk driver. He unfortunately passed a few days after, and my sister was understandably devastated. My sister held a funeral for brother-in-law, and my parents graciously offered to cover the cost of the funeral and burial. A week after the funeral, my sister didn't show up to my mother's 60th birthday party, which was odd since she helped me and my brother, 34 male, plan the party. I went over to her house after the event was over to check on her and found her place a mess. There was takeout boxes and trash spread around the entire kitchen and an entire sink full of dirty dishes. I offered to help clean since my sister was in a rough state. While I was cleaning, she began to tell me that her and brother-in-law had been trying to conceive for the past year and were unsuccessful, but she was late and decided to take a test today, and it came back positive. I asked her if she was sure, and she said she was confident and that she was going to schedule an appointment with her doctor. I told her not to get her hopes up until the doctor confirmed the results with her. For the past few weeks, I hadn't heard anything about my sister's, quote, pregnancy. So I thought it was a false positive and that the signs were just from the stress of her loss. Today, during our Sunday dinner with our parents, my husband and brother and sister-in-law and their kids, my sister announced that she was pregnant. My parents were shocked, to say the least, and my sister-in-law immediately began congratulating my sister. After the dinner, I asked my sister if we could talk in private and brought her away from the rest of the family. I expressed my concerns to her and asked if she was truly prepared to be a mother right now, if she can't even take care of herself. My sister got mad at the comment and said I have no right to comment on how she chooses to grieve and that her baby is the last piece of her late husband. I asked her if she was truly prepared to be a single mother, even though it would ruin any chance of her moving on, since no man wants to date a single mom. I suggested that she should put the baby up for adoption so that it could be in a healthy, stable home with 2 parents. She stormed off and told the rest of my family what I had said to her. My family thinks that I'm the asshole, and my husband thinks I should have chosen a better time to talk to her about this. But I don't really think I am the asshole for trying to protect my sister. She is still so young, and she shouldn't have the burden of taking care of a dead man's child alone.
Oh my gosh, guys. I saw the finest guy at church today, and I found out everything literally right after church ended. Okay, so we get to church super late, and we're trying to find a seat, and we like sit behind this super fine dude. Like at first when I see him, I'm like, oh, like, you know, he looks pretty young, and then he like, I see more of his side profile because he was like by the side, and I'm like, no, he has to be like my age or a little older. Okay, when it's time to stand up, homie stands up taller than his dad. Okay, taller than his dad, bro, like 6 feet or taller. And he was wearing this button down. He had his little like gold chain. The haircut was like the super nice fade in the back. You guys don't understand. Okay, and he was being like a little like low-key lazy, like he wouldn't stand up in time, and his parents would be like, stand up, you know, like telling him to do it. But I was just like, okay, he's like a little rebel or whatever. No, but like, stand up, bro, like it's not that hard. Stand up during church. And then when it's time to do like the boss, obviously you have to turn around and do it to like the people, like the piece around. Well, he turns around, you lock eye contact, and he like, you know, and I'm just like, I couldn't, I cracked, I like, bro, like I couldn't keep my serious face. Like I started smiling so hard and blushy, so I had to turn around and like give the sign of the peace to the people behind me, even though I was like not giving them the sign of the peace because all I could think of was of how fine he was. Anyways, so I got what I wanted, him to see me, and you know, like getting it. So then he turns back around, and then the rest of the church continues, and then we have to kneel down. Homie was poking his boogers, but still he looks so fine doing it. Okay, that's kind of TMI, but he's still so fine, bro. And then after church, I say hi to these girls I know from school, and I'm like, he's right there, and he like even gave the handshake to the padre, and I gave it after him, so I low-key touched his hand for washing my hand. And I tell these girls, did you guys see what I saw? They're like, bro, we were just talking about it. And this girl's like, yeah, he has a girlfriend though, and he goes to like the school right next to us. I'm like, and then she's like, but wait for the breakup though. And I was like, and then she's like, yeah, he plays soccer. And I was like, bro, I could tell. Like I have a thing for soccer players. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but yeah. And now I found his app. Okay, but we're gonna wait for a while to follow it, because it's okay, gonna be weird, like right after church a girl just randomly loads your account. Like that's creepy.
Today I fucked up by passing gas while wearing a butt, then screaming at my boss. So recently, my partner, 32 male, and I, 27 female, started experimenting with play. Nothing too crazy. I purchased some training butt that are smaller sizes and meant to help you work up to actually wearing a plug. I was chatting with my partner, and he suggested some adjacent activities, like wearing my plug in public. I was thrilled with the idea and got on board right away. I'm dumb and thought wearing it to work would be a good plan. Driving to work, I had no issue as the tier 2 was quite comfortable. Let's just say I got pretty busy at work and completely forgot I was plugged. So about 2 hours goes by. I'm sitting at my desk and I felt my tummy rumble in that familiar way. So I discreetly tried to pass gas. A small push didn't release the pent-up pressure. I looked around to see if anyone else was in my office and discovered I was alone. So I figured, why not rip a big one? I learned the lesson that pushing out a big toot while plugged will launch said plug into your underpants, causing you to panic, thinking you just shit your pants. Then you'll get up from your desk chair to quickly stumble a little, then fall right as your boss walks in. Then as he rushes to help you up, you'll scream, "Don't come any closer," trying to spare him from the sight of you thinking you shit your pants when in actuality you just pushed your plug out. Then you'll have to run to the bathroom, mortified, still thinking you shit your pants, and screamed at your boss, only to realize it isn't nearly as bad as you thought. Needless to say, I will never be wearing a plug in public again. If you're my boss, please know I am so sorry for a very confusing Tuesday morning.
So I've just had a massage, and I have some thoughts. Now, there's a couple of places I usually go to get a massage, or people I know that do them, but I woke up this morning and wanted it, so it was too last minute to book most places. Some of them weren't even open today, and the ones that were, all the spaces were gone. So I found this new place with great reviews, 15 minutes away from me, good prices. I was like, let's go. Booked my appointment, got my neck, shoulders and back? Yeah, I booked neck, shoulders and back to be done. I'm going to start off by saying, when I first walked into this place, it smelt amazing. The aromas and the incense that were everywhere, divine. The receptionist lady, stunning. I've got a feeling she was the owner. She had that authority, I run this bitch vibe in the best way possible. She was amazing. They gave me my own little slippers, had to put my little shoes in a little thing, got some slippers. I was like, oh, I'm feeling fancy, bitch. As she takes me through to the room that I shall be getting serviced in, the ambience is set. The lights are low, okay? There's fake candles everywhere. There's gentle piano harp music going on somewhere. It's just a whole vibe. So, we know the drill. I go into the room, they close the door, I strip down to my necks, lay on the bed face down, put the towel over me. All fine, all sorted. The lady knock. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. She comes in, how are you today? I'm really well, thank you. Should we get started? Yes, please. This little woman was fully on my back. And I don't mean she was just putting all of her pressure on. Her feet, knees, arms, body, chest on me. Like, when I got in there, I looked at this bed and I thought, I love the fact this is such a big bed. They're accommodating to plus-size people. No, they're accommodating to 2 people, because now all of a sudden she is the trapeze and I am the tightrope. I thought this was just something that happened in films, but no. This lady was full on knees and elbows, walking up and down my back and my bum and my legs. Like, babes, I only paid for you to do my back, my shoulders and my neck. You're doing everywhere. My arms, my hands are slick. She even did my hair. I've had to redo my hair today. It looks like shit, but I didn't care. She was in there doing my head and everything. At one point, she sat me up to put this hot towel thing on my back. The whole towel came down and my boobs were out. She weren't phased, so I was like, fuck it. If she ain't phased, I'm not phased. And I was just like, just letting her massage me and do things. Huh? I feel so liberated and slightly dirty at the same time. Like, she clicked me and moved me and rubbed me. And it was a wax on, wax off movement. I can't wait to go back again.
You know what's so embarrassing? Getting caught talking shit in a different language. So my grandma was visiting me from Jordan, right? And my grandma only speaks English. English, bro. My grandma can't speak a lick of English. Okay, I love my grandma. That wasn't supposed to be mean. But anyways, she only speaks Arabic. She doesn't speak English at all, right? And we were at a JCPenney, Nordstrom, Macy's, like one of those places, right? And it was my grandma's first time seeing a child on a leash. Bro, the way my grandma lost her shit, she literally, like, in the middle of the store, full volume, looks at this lady, like, makes eye contact with her, and she just, hold on. When I said full volume, I don't mean my grandma's a mean person. It's just, she never wears her hearing aids, so she thinks she's whispering, she's yelling, it's fine. I need you to cue in the violin for the speech, because honestly, she went on a Shonda Rhimes-esque monologue, and she just looked at me, and she was like, no, this is ridiculous. In a first world country, you are treating your kids, your children, the people that you gave birth to, like dogs, like hayawanat. You want your daughter to go look for her clothes like ow, around the store? What's wrong with her? And she is yelling, making eye contact, pointing, being like, what's wrong with her? And you're like a dog hick over there, like with her daughter, like. I was like, Grandma. At the time, I was just like, yeah, keep going. Like, I was stirring the pot a little bit. Like, I was just like, yeah, keep going, keep going. Like, ear up, ear. But then I noticed something. She was looking at us too much. She just kept making eye contact like this from a distance. Like, she'd be like this, and she'd be like. And I was like, bro, she knows what we're saying. I was like, Teta, we really gotta tone it down, you know what I mean? And Teta was like, yeah, maybe. I mean, she is giving us looks like maybe she doesn't understand, but she understands, you know what I mean? I pointed too much, and I was like, yeah, you did, bro, like, calm down, you know? And then she, like, looked at me, and then she raised her voice one last time, and she was like, bro, I feel like she's choking, like, it's too tight on her, like, I feel bad. And that was, what was that saying? The straw that broke the camel's back? Yeah, it broke the mom's back, bro. Because she turned around, and she was like, يعني أنا صار لي ساعة هون قاعدة وما عم بحكي معك. Like, I've been sitting here for a whole hour and I haven't said a single thing. But you know what, ma'am? I'm Lebanese. Not my proudest moment. Personally, Teta was here, my grandma was here. I was standing right here. She did that. She said, I'm Lebanese. I was like, Yalla Teta, I'll see you at the counter. Yalla bye. That was the last time my grandma talked shit in public because honestly, she was severely embarrassed. Like, being yelled at by an Arab is already embarrassing. Being yelled at or cussed out by a Lebanese person, it's over. I'm so fucking excited.
Am I wrong for choosing a name for my unborn baby that my ex picked out? A month ago, I, 24 male, found out that my girlfriend of 17 months, Caitlin, 21 female, is pregnant. She told me that she hoped it was a girl, so a couple of nights ago we started discussing baby names. I suggested Winter, and she absolutely loved it. Winter was the name that my ex-girlfriend Alex came up with when me and her were expecting. Unfortunately, she miscarried. I ended up leaving Alex a month later because honestly, after she miscarried, I fell out of love with her. I started dating Caitlin a couple of months later. Caitlin ended up telling our friends that it was a girl and that she would be naming it Winter. My friends are also still friends with Alex, and they knew that Winter was the name that we picked out when she was pregnant. My friends told Alex, and she said something along the lines of that she was kind of disappointed, but she wasn't surprised that I did this because I was a pig. She also said that at this point she didn't care because she didn't even want any kids anymore, and even if she did, she couldn't stop me from naming my baby Winter, even though it was supposed to be the name of the baby that she was carrying. I assumed that this gave me and Caitlin the green light to go ahead and name our baby Winter if it was a girl. I even thought Winter would be perfect because Caitlin already had a daughter named Autumn. But my friends and even some of my family members are telling me that this was an asshole move and was rubbing salt in the wound since I left Alex after she miscarried and I am now stealing her dead baby's name. I personally don't see anything wrong with it, especially since Alex said she doesn't care. But am I really the asshole?
Am I the asshole for not covering up? My friend is constantly getting mad at me for not covering up. I have large breasts, and as a result, practically anything I wear will show cleavage. She's been going on about it for a few months now, but it's finally got too irritating to deal with. Last week, I attended a university class with her, and she was wearing a tank top which showed nothing for her. I was also wearing a tank top, but because of my body, it revealed a lot more. She made some jokes about me trying to impress the professors and asking for it. I pointed out to her that we were wearing the same thing, but she told me that the difference is that she doesn't already have a whore's body. I was mad, but honestly, I didn't think it was that big of a deal because as someone with large breasts, you hear stuff like that every day. What really annoyed me happened last week, on my younger brother's birthday. My younger brother just turned 13 and I'm 18. We have a great relationship and are very close. My friend came to his party. At the party, I was wearing a dress that was not revealing at all, but having such a large chest, you can tell that they're big. After the party, my brother told me that she told him that I dressed too inappropriately around him, and I'm giving him a complex. She told him to tell me that I need to cover up around him because he's a child and I'm trying to groom him. My brother doesn't care what I wear as I'm his sister, and as such, he doesn't view it inappropriately, and this is what he told me. He's also gay, and everyone who was there knows this. I can't believe she'd talk to someone so young like this, especially my own brother. Now I'm wondering if other people think the same way and think that I'm being inappropriate by the way I dress. I can't control it most of the time, but should I be making an effort to cover my body up in front of children? It would really crush me if I've negatively impacted my brother's well-being, and I want to know other people's opinion. So,
mock my disability, I'll get you fired. So I, 23 female, was on the bus to university about 2 years ago, and there was a woman who sat 2 seats in front of me. Now I wear baggy clothes 99% of the time, especially when outside my home, so I had joggers on and a big baggy jumper. I suffer quite a lot with sensory issues, so when in public, I wear my headphones and usually have my hood up, head down. Basically get on and get off as soon as possible. But this day it was quite hot, not enough to take off my jumper, but enough to roll my sleeves up. So I have tattoos. This woman had been looking around the bus a lot at this point and just generally looking around. She saw me stretch my arms above my head, a common take, and she approached me. She sat in the seat next to me and was smiling. I tried to be polite, even took out a headphone, which I never do. This lady looked kind enough, older woman with blonde hair. I was curious as to why she sat next to me and moved seats, so I just tried to mind my own business. About 5 minutes later, she tapped me on my shoulder and asked about one of my tattoos. Now, I love getting tattoos. I wish I had more. I find it very therapeutic. She pointed out specifically the one on my forearm that is a bees and honeycomb. She then asked me if I went to the Ariana Grande concert, to which I said no. I was confused as to why she would assume I did, and she could tell, so she said, a lot of people who were there got bees tattooed. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. She continued to ask me about my other tattoos, many being family related or dedications. She then saw my last tattoo, a song quote with a puzzle piece, and when I say this woman's face dropped, it dropped. She proceeded to sit up straight and said that it was so disrespectful to autistic people. You should be ashamed of yourself. Don't you know the puzzle piece is linked to a hate group? Do you hate autistic people? I was gobsmacked. I just said like, ma'am, with all due respect, why do you think I have the tattoo? I am autistic. And she said, you aren't autistic. You're on a bus and you're speaking to me. Do you think it's funny to pretend to be disabled? I work with disabled people. This is disgusting. Blah, blah, blah. I just said, with all due respect, you don't know how long it's taken me to even be able to get on a bus. Never mind stay on one for a full journey. You don't know me or my diagnosis, and that all autistic people are different and show different signs. She kept going on to me about people she worked with and all that jazz. So I asked what company she works for and her name. I basically bullshitted my way through, maybe you're right. I would love to be more educated on this like you. So then she went on a rant about her work and her stepson for some reason. I ended up getting off the bus early. I just wanted to get off and away from this woman. That was enough human interaction for one day. I went home and I told my sister, and she ended up finding the website for the company. She was so angry. We ended up calling her company and asked after her. We finally found her. Let's just say they said they had issues with her before in and out of work. I found out later that she had gotten fired for disability discrimination in and out of the workplace. Apparently, she hasn't found a job since. Feels good, man.
Would I be the asshole for only getting Christmas gifts for myself this year? So, I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm the weird one who everyone doesn't get, and every Christmas I hate it because I always feel left out. My family has a habit of getting me gifts that they like or just random shit. They will buy me clothes that I would never wear, knowing that I never dress like that, all because they think I should dress that way. They put maximum effort into gifts that they get each other, and I always feel like an afterthought. Mind you, it's not about the gifts. I don't care about that. What I care about is how they don't even care to take the time to try and actually think about the things I care about the way they do for each other and the way I do for them. Last Christmas, one of my aunts spent a crap ton of money buying the most luxurious gifts for each member of the family. She made a big show of it. Lots of applauses and presentations. You know what she got me? A Harry Potter keychain. Because she couldn't think of anything, as she told me in her own words. And guess what? Of all the gifts, it was the most thoughtful. I was so embarrassed and yet impressed that this one keychain was the most thoughtful gift. This year, I am planning on buying myself all the shit I like, wrapping it up, putting it under the tree, and opening it for myself. I am not planning on getting them gifts and explicitly telling them not to get me anything. I will not be participating in our annual Secret Santa, and if they decide to go on vacation, I will remain at home. I just don't want to keep feeling left out. I don't want to feel as if I'm an obligation. So I am taking myself out of the narrative. But at the same time, I feel as if this would be wrong.